All right, I'm getting some questions about reading notes. And so I wanted to make a video sharing the process of how I take reading notes and a little bit about why we do that in an advanced writing course and how reading is connected to writing. So this is exciting. This is a video for anyone that wants to become a better reader and writer, especially at the college level, upper division, CO300 level. All right. We're going to use this Mark Edmundson's article, Who Are You and What Are You Doing Here? Which is a great piece kind of questioning academia. But I'm going to kind of pretend like I'm just getting this as a reading. All right, first big question about how to take reading notes is, how we're reading this. And we're basically doing four things. We're finding what's important. I'll try to keep this video under 10 minutes. We are finding key ideas connected to that what's important. So the what's important is like the main summary of the best ideas. I'm going to be looking for that as I go. And the key ideas would be our quotes that we're going to collect that we can share. Then there's going to be the third part of this as we go. I'm going to be on the hunt for discussion questions. So this is I'm reading to generate curiosity and inquiry that I can share. And then the fourth part of the reading notes is some kind of a personal reflection or reaction. Big part of reading, ideally, hopefully, is like the equivalent of reacting thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs there, not sure about this thing. So I'm trying to be as engaged as possible to see whether or not this guy's full shit, really, or how much of his argument I want to agree with or not. Kind of, so I'm looking for my goal of getting to be a better reader is finding what's most important as quickly as possible, getting good key ideas as quickly as possible, getting some good some questions about the text that would promote conversation as quickly as possible, and then as I go reflecting. And in order to do that, I might also want to enjoy myself. So for me, part of enjoying myself is doing this as quickly as possible, which allows me to read things that I might not be interested in otherwise and still get something out of it. But I might slow down where I'm enjoying it. And here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a big picture of, I know we normally scroll to see how long the article is first. That can kind of be a bad strategy because it might make you feel intimidated and not want to read all of this. Oh my gosh, a long article. But I am, given that length, going to go and just start reading some of the topics to get some framework. Getting to the first day of college. Raising a child effectively takes a village. That a lot of students seem to say. You may think it's got it made. Do not believe it. It's not true. I came to college with few resources. My father detonated. This is about, I'm curious about that. It's about to go off to college. No one had, my family had completed college in living memory. I think I want to do pre-law. I told my father. I had no idea what pre-law was. My father compressed his brow and blew twin streams of smoke dragon-like from his magnificent nose. Do you want to be a lawyer? He asked. My father had some experiences with lawyers, policemen too. He was not well disposed towards either. Not really sure, I told him, but lawyers make pretty good money, right? Okay, so now I'm getting, talk to him later, more about his father. Now we get the shift from his story. Education has one salient. I don't know what that word means, so I'm going to put that in the key ideas section and maybe make this a little bit. I'll look that up and I'm going to find that it means prominent or important. Important word, rhetorical theory also. Has one salient enemy in education, and that enemy is university education in particular. Okay, so I'm just going to copy and post this as a quote. This is the first one that I have thought might be that important. And then it looks like what I'm also looking for here for the what's most important is the sense of a main claim that Edmundson's making and the reasons for that claim. So if we're paying attention to the argument, an argument is any claim backed by reasons, any conclusion with evidence. It seems like to me, so far, this is about the problems with college. In college, life is elsewhere. I might actually pull that one too. Each of these, I'm gonna, just to make sure that my notes stay separate, there's no page numbers on this, so I don't need to put page numbers in my notes. Faculty 2 is often absent. And now this is radically false. What's radically false? Ambitious professors work furiously. Students and professors have made a deal. Neither of them has to throw themselves heart and soul into what happens in the classroom. No one in this picture is evil. No one is criminally responsible. It's just as a short paragraph, so we'll just read it. It's just that smart people are prone to look into matters to see how they might go about buttering their toast, and then they butter their toast. Everyone's out for themselves. I'm gonna ask that as a question. It's the first real good question I have. Is everyone out to quote unquote butter their toast? I'm running out of time. I think this gives you the idea. I would still be, as administrators, small potatoes, cheating is common. Periodically, the public gets exercised. One of the reasons professors look the other way is more on cheating sends them into a world of sorrow. I don't know about that. What colleges want are well-rounded students, civic leaders, people who know what the system demands, how to keep matters light, push too hard, not to push too hard for an education or anything else. People who get their credentials and leave the professors alone to do brilliant works. They may rise and enhance the rankings of the university. It's a pretty long quote. I really don't want to keep this quote that long, but I'm just going to put this in here, partially because, and this is the last thing that I'll say, it's easy to kind of generate a lot of things from the text, but I'm going to hopefully do as I go through this, because I'm not even, how far through this article are we? I'm about halfway through. I've seen a lot of students kind of at this point feel like they have enough notes, but I still want to make it to the end and see where we were. And it looks like actually my first idea of what the claim might be shifting as I'm reading. So this is what colleges want. He's critiquing colleges, it seems like. In a culture where the major and determining values are monetary, what else could you do? How else would you live if not by getting all you can, succeeding all you can, making all you can? The idea that university education really should have no substantial content should not be about what John Keats was disposed to call soul making. Interesting. And now I'm definitely probably going to go back and start. This is Keats, quoted QTE in Edmundson. Trick on how to quote someone that someone quotes. This is interesting, and I'm going to mark this as some that I'm going to come back to because I'm curious about what that is. This seems like this is still that. These topic sentences are getting harder to follow, so this is kind of where I think I'm actually going to dive in and read a little closer. Oh, interesting. Maybe this is the best one. If you want an education, the odds aren't with you. Professors, students, student services. This is legit. So I'm going to mark both of these. We have the soul making, and if you want an education, the odds aren't with you. Why make trouble? Why not go along? You'll also find if my father and I are right, you'll be truly and righteously screwed. And here we have, he's really talking about liberal arts education being not a luxury quest, but a necessity quest. I really like this. I'm in the liberal arts, so I'm going to put that in my reflection. And then I'll use that later. Been told who you are. For you trying to risk, and I'm reading the beginning and end of each paragraph here, you trying to risk becoming someone other than you are in the long run is killing. So if you end up becoming someone that you're not, it's going to be hard. I'm really into that statement. I'm not sure why. I'm going to put it in there anyway. and interesting. Bringing up Foucault, I don't know who that is, so on and so forth. So I'm going through this trying to find what's most important. And now I've got what I think is going to be the claim that was up here around. If you want an education, the odds aren't with you. I'm going to rephrase that to be you have to fight, which I think he says up above. And then the reasons it looks like he has are about the professors, the other students, student services. And this really raises a good question. So what next? What's your prescription or solution? Which I could make as a discussion question, but in my reading and reading notes, I'm gonna start looking for this, which is where I am in the reading. And I'll leave people to that. He's dropping Foucault, Schopenhauer, Jesus, Emerson, Freud. Society as a joint stock company. From Freud, I found a great deal to ponder, challenging and provoking. Still talking about Freud. So why Freud? Why talk about Freud? Back to his father. Ooh, that looks like another phrasing of his claim. It will be up to you. You must put the question of Plato to yourself. I'm kind of doing a shorthand every time I take these quotes. I'm going to need to just go back and put Edmundson in there. Finding this form of play. Education is about finding what form of work is so close to being play. And that's it. Okay, that's all I have time for. I hope this helped. If you have any questions about why or how we approach reading notes in an advanced writing class, a writing arguments class, hopefully that kind of illuminated some of it. It's about 15 minutes, so I'd be about a quarter of the way there. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye now. Hope this helped.